We are back. Stone Soup is here, ladies and gentlemen. You won't be seeing us live streamed because I'm currently using my girlfriend's laptop and she has, I think, restrictions as a teacher to live stream teachers' meetings on Facebook and YouTube. But we are able to record this, so chances are, as a matter of fact, unless you were a participant, is definite that if you're watching this through our YouTube channel. So that's available via my name, Chad Parento, and I'll also be posting links to this tomorrow for those of you who are on the call. Thank you all for being on the call, and special thanks to CC Arshagra for setting this up. Quick story, TLDR, my computer's fucked, immaculately fucked. My computer started having a wayward mouse, even with no access to the internet. Even on airplane mode, no matter what, even with the computer unable to go online because I was stuck with a blue screen, the mouse was just moving no matter what. Somehow my C drive, my hard drive was on the fritz. They fixed that, but they weren't able to fix the mouse, even though they reloaded the driver for the mouse repeatedly. And I would hopefully have an answer to this, would have had an answer to this, except the mom and pop store had mom go to the hospital for an impromptu procedure and sent home yesterday. So I still don't know what's going on. And she works mostly from home. So support big businesses, everybody. You have people who are forced to work and be there every day and have to work through their surgeries. But no, I wish the mom and pop well. But local businesses suck. No, anyway, I'm not going to be that much of an insurrectionist to myself. We are going to go. I think Bill Lewis felt that one. Holding his face like a sore tooth, almost clutching onto his face like there's a sore tooth there. Sorry, I am bitter because I've had to use so many other sources of computers except for my own. And let me tell you something, working with a week on a Mac, I could slit my wrists in the bathroom. Once you go Mac, you want to go back. It's as a lifelong PC user. I respect Apple users. I use an Apple for a good majority of my college years as a newspaper editor and writer, and I can't go back. I'm so thankful that Windows stole from Apple to have a reasonable DOS, have a reasonable system to put over their DOS. So thankful. But more on that, maybe never. Hopefully I'll get the computer back tomorrow and we can get started planning Stone Soup's 51st, good God, anniversary. I know, come on, I'm getting old. So we'll have hopefully more information about that. I'd like to thank Jury Duty for telling me right after I left work that I don't have jury duty tomorrow. I've been dismissed before I even go. So, whoa, what a feeling. So we'll get back to that another time. We're going to start off with the open mic because it's National Poetry Month. And I want to thank everyone, by the way, who attended Carol Weston's talk with John Mulrooney, Jim Dunn and company on the Boston School, if there is a school. I know there was some debate as to whether or not a Boston school exists, but but here now, knowing that you can just tag a school and name it, I'm going to start the Chad Parento School next week. It's going to be whatever dumpster's on fire that I can find, and I don't think that'll be too hard in these times. And I'm going to just go put my old Framingham State College banner over it. They're not going to use it anyway because now it's Framingham State University. It's either that or What's the Matter You from Bullwinkle. But all right. Have I rambled enough? Yes. Should I go to the first person on the open mic? Yes. And do I know who that is? Yes, it's going to be Miss Rita Rusty Rose. Welcome back, New York. Glad you're still alive.
Thank you. Thank you. Today I will do a poem, of course, for the Ukraine. And I don't know if I read it here. Prams of Despair. In the streets of in Lviv, when the children, many were killed in the beginning of the war and still are, they put all their strollers, they lined up in the street. So this is Prams of Despair. Besieged on the battlefield of war, lined across the cobbled Lviv street, tiny victims of Vladimir Putin's gore. Toddlers no longer kick content feet, 109 distinctive prams, absent, sleepy children in their seats, each a stolen life, brave paschal lambs, desolate strollers in Runnock Square, victims of a maniacal man, carriages of babies born, a war-torn nations plagued with pain, sorrowful hearts of mothers who mourn. Yet alive is the spirit of Ukraine and its brave people who will rise again. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. We'll do a 2-round robin tonight. And hopefully that won't break anyone's back. Hopefully that'll be, everyone will find that fun. I'm gonna ask Nancy Dawson to unmute herself. Carol Weston couldn't make it tonight. Thanks to Nancy for letting me know that. Hopefully Carol will return in many ways. Hopefully I'm brave enough to put on a live show next month with Carol Weston and Jim Dunn. Jim Dunn has offered to do one alongside Carol, especially with the new book that's Carol's coming out with, which is very exciting news. I can only hope that Peacefire is going to be amongst them. But at any rate, let's welcome up Nancy Dawson, who was actually one of the people to feature for Stone Soup's 35th anniversary, the very first anniversary show I hosted. And Carol Weston handpicked Nancy Dawson and one other poet, friend of note, to help open with her. And so let's bring up Nancy.
The dawning of spring, the leaves come out at last, the flowers burst forth, parrot tulips, narcissus, and daffodils. Maple seedlings come hither everywhere. I weed the seedlings, hating them as I go. I must dig out the roots and throw them away. They plant the spring harvest ivy, annuals, and perennials. What would look best? I need advice. Ask an expert and plant the new season. Beauty must be everywhere, for beauty reigns as does the spring.
Hey, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy. Let's keep the phone group going. This person isn't technically by phone, joining us by phone, but he does. He never shows his face because he's afraid of losing whatever soul he has left. I say just throw in the rest of your 10% in, sir. And let's welcome up, hopefully he'll unmute himself, Mr. Chris Fitzgerald.
So you can hear me.
Yes.
The first part of the evening, I'm going to do something that's a little different than poetry, but it's very. I'm probably one of the biggest name droppers some of you have come in contact with. I'm going to have to ask you to indulge me once again. This is National Poetry Month. I want to have something special to celebrate the occasion. This pop music literary quote came into my head. It's from James Joyce, early part of the 20th century. If you ask Joyce, what do? He wouldn't say he was a novelist or a short story writer. He would tell you he was a friggin' poet. It's not his poetry I shall deal with now, but it was the first one to make me aware that it wasn't poetry that was the criticism of life anymore, but popular music. My initial feelings about popular music. Men and women, they had gotten laid on Saturday night. No one had told them about the wonderful explosiveness of intimacy. So now it's Tuesday, and they've had a Joycean epiphany. Fuck this. I got to tell the world what love is. And what's it got to do with it? What's it got to do with it? This week and next, I shall sing a couple of verses of songs from the 60s and 70s. Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Sloopy lives in a very bad part of town. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And everybody, yeah, tries to put my Sloopy down. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sloopy, I don't give two fucks what your daddy do. Ooh, ooh, ooh. 'Cause you know, Sloopy girl, I'm in love with you. So I say, Yeah. Thank you very much. Don't forget to the waitress.
I think your high note
That's the
broke the
first.
computer.
That's the first.
Got it. Thank you so much, Chris. Please mute yourself because for some reason I can't mute you. But you need to mute yourself, otherwise there might be a voice breaking. Chris, can you mute yourself?
I'm trying to.
All right. For some reason, you're immune to muting yourself, to being muted. I don't understand it. Okay. But he's also, I guess it doesn't matter what computer or what Zoom we're using. Chris can jump in and out of Zoom anytime he feels like it still. He's beyond the internet. I should probably put, if I wasn't hosting a show now, I would take us off the internet and go into airplane mode to see if he, yep, see, there he is. He's back again. I swear to God, this might be your, Chris might be the point person, the point of proof that CC has that the internet is always on your computer. Maybe it's that the Chris Fitzgerald is always on the computer. I don't know. Maybe Chris Fitzgerald is the internet. Who knows? We are, maybe that's why he says stop staring at your screens, because he's always in there somewhere saying, hey, do you mind? I got privacy here. Anyway, let us, before I ramble any further, let's go to the next person on the open mic, and that is Mary Jennings.
Thank you, Chad. I've got, I have two new She Won't Sing Queens. Been writing, so many of those. They are turning into my feminist manifesto. So here's the two latest ones. She won't provide goodwill if you will bleed her dry for your own pleasure and profit. No lamb. She won't play dead for you to validate your worth. She is not competing with you. Arise. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And let's see who we got next. I love just picking people like I'm apple picking, trying to figure out who the best person next is. Okay. Let us go next to Mr. Lib Celia. Oh, wait, that's him. That's Bill Lewis spelled backwards.
You are so clever. How did you figure that out?
Well,
Man,
your
I
face
thought-
is right underneath the backwards name, so it wasn't too hard.
Well, that is easier for you to say. Oh my goodness gracious. As many of you know, I have been an active a pro not having people living on the street activist. How's that? And I have been rather forward about it to my politicians, and my last major politician I got to speak with and kept my temper. I was so polite and merely expressed my concern that there was all this violence on the street and all these horrible things going on, and that I knew that she, in her position, could change that. And that's all I had to say. And I sort of feel like I'm relieved from the burden of pushing anymore. That, I mean, I'm just astounded that people can just ignore homelessness. But it's a new world. But nonetheless, I have done the part that I feel that I'm really able to do. I have helped my friends and made it clear to others. So I get to forget it for a while and think about other things instead. Hidden. In a place I cannot touch or see, behind a veil it mutates, tossing hints out to you and me. With what strange creature do I contend that moves from state to state in mystery? It tosses me an oracle embedded in a cipher. I know it knows, I don't, but stopping now, I can't, I won't. Oh, dizzying networks of states and transitions and emissions in vectors and arrays, all multiplying as fast as possible, and then faster still until they mutate unto exhaustion and lay there, stationary, panting. Come to me, my pretty little Markovian model. I know you now, you can't escape. Tell me of the future. Tell me what portends. Tell me what I want to know. Spill the beans, my friend. She's still quite shy, but that's okay. I keep her on a chain. And when I want to know something, she'll tell me straight and plain. I was teaching my students about hidden Markov models. So this was a poem for, yeah.
Looks like we got ES joining us tonight. She'll be coming in just a moment. And yep, she should be joining us in a moment. That's great. Until then, let's bring up, hey, ES. Looks like she might be just still joining in with audio. Good to have people that are still joining us. And now let us bring up Mr. David Miller, who's celebrating a new book release and a bunch of new features to promote it. We got to get you back.
Oh, well, thank you. It'd be great. But, well, in the meantime, there's a poem titled, Who Watches Over Me? The angel of good enough most of the time. The angel of this will do for now. Yes, they wedged the shower stall into the kitchen. They'll inform you that plumbing is plumbing. They shoulder tap me when 2 of my 3 pairs of jeans are torn, so I can buy a 4th before the 3rd rips too, not fashionably. Nor am I ripped in any sense, but my body coheres normalish as expected until further notice. The angel of eventual reminders keeps his own list of tasks not more than a month out of date. He's good at not rescheduling my appointments after they've happened. He's okay, if you ask, though the unasked angels of your best possible self furrow their brows. Only okay? Tut tut, they're a teensy bit appalled. What's the issue, my own angels and I want to know? I may not own a sofa, but I have enough chairs. My angels are very pleased with themselves when they think about how my wife and I met. Someday I'll get around to telling them they weren't on that case at all. That was the angel of luminous stellar explosion, aka the angel of primordial singularity, who jumped the wormhole, birthed the extravaganza, vanished, while the other celestials were scratching their heads, searching my fridge for the substitute margarine. Thanks.
Thank you, David. I'm going to bring us now to Miss Minion Ariel King, poet, author, publisher. I'm sure I'm sure Telltale Inklings is coming out soonish, at least springish. It'll be good to see that come, and it'll be good to hear. It's good to hear Minion read after so long.
Thank you. And yes, due to unforeseen circumstances, i.e. my bifocals broke, then yeah, it'll be a little late, but it'll be out this spring. So, can you?
What happened to your camera? We can't see you.
Oh, what happened to it? There's somebody put a Post-it note over it. I don't know how that happened.
Okay.
I don't want to be seen.
Fair enough.
Okay. Conduct unbecoming. A year in one place, with no huge St. Bernards allowed on the property, or in-unit laundry. I'm not being greedy here. The need for laundry to be non-traumatic, non-dramatic. Just want some dang clean underwear every day. Socks too. So I got fired. The only time in life. Corporate reception and scheduling before anybody'd heard of Outlook calendars, I could handle. 1,000 phone calls on a switchboard, no problem. My roomie cackled. Who gets fired from a hair salon? 2 months later, I'd moved out. And my old roomie Joy called crying because Christian kicked her out so his commie friends could move in. I said it was too bad, read that as you will, and hung up. The current roommate had a kidney transplant team call while he was who the F knows where. And mice skipped through the kitchen with one of those stupid faux Buddha 12-inch off the floor tables. Yeah, like I was sitting on the floor with the vermin abounding. Then I lived someplace, like now. Don't bother remembering it. I won't in 6 months. I won't think about the gorgeous new wood, the ample slant of attic, but the roommates who led me here, who kept me laughing during the pandemic in small craft beer, art night collages, and Moulin Rouge movie nights. I hope I will always remember them fondly as the last people I've lived with on planet Earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Minion. And now we turn our attention to, whoops, looks like, okay. Another nice little perk with my girlfriend's computer is I get constant updates for her programs. Like I don't need Adobe Flash Player right now. As a matter of fact, I thought we got rid of Adobe Flash Player. I thought that was outlawed forever. At any rate, we have, oh dear God, I don't want this. Let's move now to our next participant. And actually, did we get, I guess ES is gone. That's too bad, but let us welcome up next, the next poet in the Jack Powers legacy, Miss Julianne Powers.
Hi, thank you. Are you able to hear me? Okay. Shadow, meadow. I am the shadow in the meadow with the sun upon my back that's holding me up above the marsh grass. Where salt water floods my shoe soles, where seagulls gather, they call, and I walk along the edge, the border of it all. Alone I move up the tracks towards my sanctuary, where I escape to lie and bask, encompassed by the light. The warmth mends the pieces which have fallen apart. Here is my freedom, yet I'm just a shadow in the marsh. Thank you.
Julianne is one of a few poets who have been taking part in the, one of May poets, I should say, have been taking part in the 30-30 challenge for National Poetry Writing Month, average a poem a day for 30 days. She's one of the few that have posted her work on the special page for Stone Soup Poetry. We have a group page for National Poetry Writing Month. If you're interested, look it up and join. I do have links to it on the Stone Soup group page. And it's been some really good work. I think we're going to see a lot of it come out and get published very soon. I am going to bring us to our next poet, and that's going to be, oh, it was going to be Ed Galt, but he has vanished. Oh, there he is. Mr. Gentleman Galt, look for his work in Oddball. He was one of the featured writer artists last week. He has a featured photograph in this week's edition of Oddball. And thanks so much for all your work, Ed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get this up. Oops. Here we go. Hope I haven't read this here before. Called Games with Grandpa. So here it is, Games with Grandpa. I don't know when his wife died. I was always told it was long before I was born. He always seemed so ancient, his skin lined with years he had lived. Brown spots mottled his scalp and bleeded into what hair he had left. The important thing was to not be lured into thinking he was senile. That would have been a grave mistake. For example, in chess, he would take your king, then your queen. No, he would take your queen, then your king, before you knew they were gone. Game over. Then he was a checker shark. He had ways of jumping over all your pieces in one move. In dominoes, we didn't stand a chance. The man had a century on us all. Even after all the cigars, that must have been his secret, the cigars. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And it looks like, unless ES returns to us, I feel bad that she didn't, but it looks like unless that happens, we have one more participant for tonight's first round of the round robin. And it's good that he's the closer. He was the videographer for Stone Soup. He's the person who made tonight possible, and I appreciate that. Hopefully we won't need his services next week, as I'll hopefully have a functioning computer. Anything's possible, but hopefully we can at least get this figured out before Stone Soup returns. But one crisis at a time. Let's welcome up Mr. Cici Arshagra and thank him as well.
Oh, you're quite welcome. It was not the hard thing. I wish I could have known in advance about the live stream. I have that set from a long time ago. So
We'll figure it out.
Very work, and I'm sure that can be fixed. So this Earth Day is tomorrow, from what I hear. And so from the manuscript that I was working on and going to publish before the entire curveball in my life, and I began the open microphone poems, that book is coming along well. So I'm going to read Earth from the Oxygen Garden. I'm going to dedicate this to Brother Blue. I don't know if you guys remember him. And out of the good muddy soup of existence, no life form conceived of a cellular moving, nothing ever so filthy with wonder collectively gathered and started to cry. Here being touched being, touched life. One became many as food became hunger, form became food, not a thing to waste, other to an other universe inside itself. Time without measure gave organic meaning, neath tears pools of living as islands birthed mountains, repeating the lessons while continents bore fires, a gardening air to the body of bare breath. Hunger birthed giants to the killing of sky, while still but a cell was being born somewhere. Till again by rock measure life fed off its own death, as cells became bones, became skulls housing brains where, and claws became pawns, became hands equipped with thumbs, a most wondrous grip upon limbs beyond weapons, to thoughts of what may tool a living revelation, till size was less measure of who ate the other, and so driven to mate and be the protector she is captured by he to primarily breed. The original quest flame had fallen on. And who with a tool might survive without killing, repeating the lessons organically given, abandoning trees to cave shelters to dwellings erected and safe within cages and fences, with fears of facing, with constant misplacing of fire and fuel, and knowing of hunger, neath feeding and pleasures and powers of taking, till killing was no longer driven by nature. The others, not different, rose out of the jungle as animal beings touched war and fears placing. Animal man was forgetting the lesson, and civilization turned against creation. Tongues grew protecting oneself from one other, and take moved to killing and rape, burn, and pillage. And land became reasons to forge war with hatreds, till civilization reached social peace, causing a need to grow wars, to spread and protect it, till man became masters of killing each other and slowly dismantled the garden of nature, still never resolving the conflicts between others. Not even the faiths and hopes of religion could understand why we still murder each other, could not even see how fear God is used reason, could not even admit lies about who makes pollution, and still cannot see what's fear's primal connection. In fact, it's still used as a modern deception. In fact, most solutions are killed at inception. In fact, greed refuses to value each person. In fact, some might kill me for writing this poem. Oh, see the dust cloud on the nuclear world, all over giants no bigger than you here. See the word hate ignored like the plague. See politics vie between God and fear is all over humankind, leaving the earth while still but a cell is being born somewhere. I wish that didn't hold true 22 years later.
22. Good God. Thank you, Cece. And with that, we end the first round of our round robin. Nothing to announce in the future except submit to Oddball Magazine if you haven't already. We'd love to have your work, especially for anything current event related. And if you know of any artists who might want to contribute, please let me know as well. Let me know directly, because we're needing some more artists than ever now, especially with the timely stuff who can do something political. I'm going to be contacting a bunch of people tomorrow with my time off, but anyone who knows someone who can pass something on, that'd be great. And like I said, hopefully we'll have some Stone Soup news proper coming up in the next couple of hopefully days. Days would be nice. Could it 2 days have everything fixed in my life? We'll find out. We're going to start where we began in the first round. We're going to go with Miss Rita Rusty Rose.
Thank you, Chad. Hi, everyone. And following the theme for tomorrow's Earth Day, I'm going to read a flower pantoum from my book, Flower Poems, Personalities in Bloom. And this is called Coneflower. I am razzmatazz, decked out in double pom-poms and pink petal skirt. My blooms croon in harvest moon and celebrate orange meadows so bright. In summer and early autumn, I am a sight to behold in the dirt. Honeybees and butterflies partake in my rich nectar to their delight. My blooms croon in harvest moon and celebrate orange meadows so bright. Finches feast while spreading a seeded legacy for me. And honeybees and butterflies partake in my rich nectar to their delight. I hardly complain, and in all terrain grow as high as your knee. Finches feast while spreading a seeded legacy for me. In summer and early autumn, I am a sight to behold in the dirt. I hardly complain, and in all terrain grow as high as your knee. I am razzmatazz, decked out in double pom-poms and pink petal skirt. Thank you.
Thank you for that bit of razzmatazz, Rita. And we are going to move now to second person on the open mic, our phone participant. Ask her to unmute herself by pressing *6, and let's listen to Miss Nancy Dawson.
You are unmuted. Cool and chilly. It is cool, chilly wind and weather. The dogs come in right away. It is not my turn to go out. First it will kill the plants. House plants are bedded ones. Fear of a kill makes me bring them in tonight. Frost killer what? Will they survive? I doubt it.
Oh,
Stay warm, everybody, or stay cool, depending on where you are right now and what day it is and what hour it is in the week. Let's welcome up next. Thank you, Nancy. Let's welcome up next, Mr. Chris Fitzgerald.
Okay, so you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. This seems more appropriate. It's just 3 pages. It says it's 5, but I'm just doing 3 pages. This is a letter of introduction for the 5-page literary work that follows. The whole world's a stage. My ass, Shakespeare. It's about the American experiment and the pathetic attempt by 3 crown clowns to sabotage the American experiment. Not one of them had anything to bring to the table. Shabby, shallow, and shitty. There was not one honest moment between the 3 of them. All 3 were proponents of the big lie, the original one. The 3 were John Wilkes Booth, Winston Churchill, and T.S. Eliot. I mentioned Auden and Powell in the first line of the
He's been silenced. Holy cow. I don't know how that happened.
Came for him.
Here he comes. He's not going to realize he's picking up where. He's just going to keep on talking. Chris, if you can hear us, you jumped out and jumped back on. Now, okay, so pick up where you left off.
All right.
Don't know what happened.
England, France, Germany created Adolf Hitler. Russia, America had nothing to do with it. Hitler always thought Imperial England was going to join him to defeat the Russian peasant horde. Though I've beaten you and flayed you, by the living God who made you, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din. I know what you're wondering, Gunga. I didn't mention the time I pissed on the right leg of those new white trousers that your mother had bought you for a birthday present. The Queen doesn't like the piss word. I hear she can't stand it. She would take the middle finger any day of the week. Well, it's Monday. Here's the middle finger. Churchill got away with his bring back the Tsar, bring back the serfs, bring back French in the royal court, his Fullerton, Missouri speech, his so-called Iron Curtain speech, the ancient regime's last and final vote, the world's big lie by one of the world's biggest liars. There were 2 world wars in the 20th century. Both were fought over the same reason. Who should rule the world? Imperial man or democratic man? Democratic man won both wars. Slapped the shit out of Imperial man twice. That's why giving the forum to one of Imperial man's biggest blowhard was a big mistake. He didn't have anything to say. Just that his queen feels threatened. Shabby, shallow, and shitty. Shaw never should have spoken to him. We must remember neither Abraham Lincoln nor Ho Chi Minh ever stooped to kiss a royal ass. That was Churchill's bread and butter, the Queen's empire, his reason for being. That was the Shakespearean role. When the two-bit scumbagian Shakespearean actor John Wilkes Booth shot and killed my favorite president, he shouted out, "Sic semper tyrannis," thus always the tyrants. Who's the tyrant, Lincoln? No, it was your father, Junius Brutus Booth, who also was a scumbagian Shakespearean actor. Your father bought 8 black slaves in the 1820s. Ground zero for tyranny is always slavery. Ground zero for tyranny is always slavery. Ground zero for tyranny is always slavery. It was the Booth family that was smothered in the. It was the Booth family that was smothered in the tyranny of slavery, not the Lincolns. Every day of John Wilkes Booth's childhood was smothered in the tyranny of slavery. Alas, apparently it's beneath the Shakespearean actor, even the scumbagian ones, to admit to being a piss-poor excuse for a human being. But there you have it, friends, Romans, countrymen. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, he knows how to make a departure. He knows how to make an entrance and an exit, and an entrance again. You live inside the matrix, Chris. I am impressed. Let's welcome up next, Mr. Bill Lewis. I know that's his name because even though he wrote it backwards, I'm holding up a mirror.
Dad, you're just getting too clever for me. I got to figure out some other trick. Well, it did occur to me that I might have sounded pretty pessimistic there about the whole homeless thing. And I did want to remind you that I'm optimistic because I know it is possible. Out of 20 some homeless people who have stayed with me, at least 6 of them are taking care of themselves, and I know 3 of them are homeowners. So I view the optimistic side that we can make this difference. So I do get into the faces of people sometime, however. Oh well, you all help keep me sane and sober and polite so that I can speak about my concerns without yelling at people. Thank you for that. And now I should like to complete with a poem which I did not write. I do not know where you find your poetry from, but for me, I have always found that really high quality dark chocolate is a good place for poetry to be found. First time he kissed me, he but only kissed the fingers of this hand wherewith I write, and ever since it grew more clean and white. Slow to worldwide greetings, quick to us its first O list, when angels speak a ring of amethyst. I could not wear here plainer to my sight than that first kiss, the second pass in height, the first and sought the forehead and half missed, hair falling on hair, oh beyond need, that with its rhythm of love, which love's own crown with sanctifying sweetness did precede. The third upon my lips was folded down, in perfect purple state, since when, indeed, I have been proud and said, my love, my own. Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Sometimes they publish Rudyard Kipling's poem "If" on the side of Dr. Bronner's soap. So there's other sources. Just saying. Just recommending. Just throwing that out there. Planting seeds. Will they grow? I don't know. Let's welcome up next for his second round in this round, 2-round round robin. Does that make sense? Let's welcome up David Miller.
Oh, okay. Good, thank you. So here's one where the title of the poem runs right into the body of the poem. Okay. When I am asked, What are my hopes for eternity? I must demur. I can't say. Eternity is merely massive, nothing there to grab onto. Does it begin with my redeemed corpse startled from the ground? I'm not that enamored of this body bag, never have been. Cremation seems a humbler choice. Here's a better question. Who built this deep drawered sewing table? Drop leaf family antique, rehomed to our kitchen. It's good work. It has breath, muscle wrought into it, 4 legs that stand sure in real time. If I were asked about real time, I might reply, which of us will revert to soil first? Possibly the table, but most likely me. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Work's been a constant during this whole pandemic. So glad you're still working, putting this stuff out there. And we are up now to our next contestant, our next poet. Let's welcome up the ever elusive Minion, Ariel King.
Ever elusive. I'm a Klingon. I'm cloaked.
Oh God. Even a bird of prey and a Klingon bird of prey is normally not invisible when it has to fire. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. That bullshit Star Trek movie notwithstanding.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm not sure how well this translates. It's an Abacadarian.
Okay.
So anybody, hopefully people know what an Abacadarian is. So if you read down the first letter of each line, then it'll be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. But the mark of a good Abacadarian is you wouldn't notice that at first. So anyway.
I didn't know that was the title. I didn't know that's what they called it.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It's nice to be useful. Catching your breath. Armies come to mind, coordinated like bees and just as visceral, ready to sting colonizers who'd launch rockets and stomp dusty boots across the narrowing divides every citizen fears in the mind as physical, feral things. There's more than artillery that gut punches those assaulted. It's dread that holds fast, makes threshold shadows keen, imposing. There's too much time to think. Jot down plans as if the future were still full, kind, possible. And there's lack. What one lacks in accomplishment. How and when he might have been a better person had patent narcissism known ahead that selfishness not only pumps adrenaline through the roof, but punches holes that leave a person solo, cold, quivering. Where's the queen now? Enemies ramped up and marching toward the hive. So it goes, until the troops rally as one again, transgressions paling next to trespassers thrust upon distant friends, then neighbors, then one's own stoop. Valor becomes figuring out when to fight, when to flee, and when courage yields no xanthic badges. There's still peace in uniting, yet realizing that combined there will be zero control over airstrikes. But try to breathe. Thank you.
Thank you, Minion. Looks like Mary Jennings left. I hope she's okay.
She's back.
Oh, she's back. Rejoice.
Yeah, I sat moment zapped out and I'm back now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good because I was just about to announce you were next. Okay. All right. Hopefully she'll make it back.
Yeah, it's the connection, I think. Yeah, that happened before Chris went out too, the voice. You could hear it quivering before it drops, probably the connection.
Oh, I think she's back on again. There you are. All right, Mary, if you'd like to read quickly. Thank God you got Cinquains. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Thank you. I have 3 more new sequins that I found, and I realize, and the connection to them are heart, mind, and soul. Your heart is a tool for unordained saviors wanting to hog all your love light. Bomb zone. Somehow, if you believe you don't know your own mind, you'll find that you're right. Predict. Beware when you are told, I know what is good for you. Watch your soul go. Bye-bye, sucker. Possessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Oh, looks like we have someone else to add, courtesy of Cece. I'm assuming she's in the room with you. Okay, we'll do that. But first, we'll go over now to Julianne Powers. There you go. Uh-oh, I think there's something going on with the connection.
Some one that I wrote today for poetry month. Dig deeper for the roots. Having a hard time hearing me.
You might want to start over again. I don't know if you can do a different location or check your connection, but we're not able to pick you up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I think so.
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll try one more time. Here, I'll try it while traveling.
Okay. There you go.
Woo. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can, okay. So I'm gonna recite this in the dark. So, Throne of Summer. Since we're doing Poems of Earth, I thought it would be relevant. Deeper for the roots, for tea or simply to remove the throne of summer offer new beginnings. The emerging or pine is one comforting sign life is waking again. Blooming crocus and forsythia, precious bloodroot and dandelions from the altar of earth. Brimming hope for this spring to grow my fresh new grit. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you.
And we have, who do we have next? We're going to go now to Mr. Edward S. Galt before we get to our new edition.
Thank you very much. And this is a piece called Glutton. Since chocolate seems to be the sort of a theme tonight. And this is called Glutton. It takes place around 1975, I guess, the period it's kind of speaking to. I don't know. Let's see. No, Glutton. Glutton. Sorry. Okay, Glutton. Let's see if I can find it here. I'm sorry. Okay, here it is. I'm sorry. Okay, Glutton. In my grammar school days, I was a latchkey kid. When I reached home, I was by myself. This isn't an Oliver Twist story. I wasn't an orphan. I wasn't beaten. I wasn't starving. But I did get grounded from time to time. Then everything was off limits. Watching TV, reading, going down the block to Rick's, going to the mall. And we didn't have the internet back then, so obviously, I couldn't even play solitaire. I couldn't even play solitaire. I really didn't know how to anyway. But there was the chocolate cake in the fridge. And nobody said in so many words exactly that I couldn't eat it. So I became a glutton. So that name of that one was Glutton. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I'm going to bring it over now to our special surprise guest star, Kathleen Hulser, sorry. Although Kathleen Hustler, that might make a good stage name. Just saying, you always have to think about the audience. You just have to unmute yourself, Kathleen.
Okay, you're good.
There you go.
Unmuted? It's okay?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. This is something I wrote this week, so current. It's called Echo. A slight to curiosity preserves nothing. Let watchdog self snooze for a while. Attraction scorns speed limits, and velocity becomes encounters. To engage or escape a quiver of choices spiced with contraries, not quite known, but not a stranger, half-open door, a cautious welcome. Untilled fields warm to spring. Admit, deny, embrace, pull back. Teetering, always moving. Peeling layers from facets, catching light still elusive along clandestine beveled edges. Light applauds its echo. Thanks.
Thank you. I remember you from before, Kathleen. Come back anytime. And up next to close us out on the second round of this round robin, the man who literally made it all possible. Because I'm too stupid to remember my my Zoom password. But I actually, ironically, I remembered it as I was scrambling to get the record going. But funny things. But anyway, at least that means I'll be able to put it on my my iPad next week. But anyway, let us welcome up Mr. C.C. Arshagra.
Okay, thank you. And you're not stupid. The Heart Song of Nature from the same 22-year-old manuscript, The Oxygen Garden. And it was edited by, for those of you that remember, David Doc Cody, who's no longer with us, but he was like a father to me. He's a beautiful man. The stream winds down, the rock-hard truths are washed. The sparrow swallows time and all the moving light. Solutions of nature rest inside rainfall. Night shine approaches and glistens within a body of water that flows, watches, and listens to Godspeed, fast asleep and undisturbed. Seeds of living gravity sprout to spell the life cycle of trees. Branches spring to form both the answers and questions that dwell within leaves, breathing sounds that speak, voice and song, music, life and death, one by one and together in all alone, countless ways. A myriad of notes amidst the silent ones playing. And I'm gonna do a little second one because of Earth Day. And this is called Earth Pen. I love your hands, sky of ink to my eyes as you write with trees on the paperwork of art, with gravity's bond crying all the unsaid out, to say the sounds we all feel, to hear the interpretations of the water's flow, the many ways of listening to all the affected rock forms, the results come to be rain, opening us to how we read over and about your offerings of life, your ways of turning the being alive stages into timeless pages of respect. As the weather of time passes by the ages of nothing removing us, becoming the song of just how tender we are. And all of this, we do for the ever so precious remains of you, dear Earth. Thank you. And are we relatively wrapped up for the night? Because our friend and fellow Stone Super, John Wesick, is not with us tonight because he's doing something that, are we near the end?
I think we're, oh, so you want to go join John Wesick? Do you have?
Yeah, I want to just I told everybody that at the end of the night, if we finish in time.
That's right. He's doing something at Lynn. He's doing something at Lynn tonight.
Yeah, and I'm going to put it in the chat, what he gave me. I don't have the URL or the code.
Gotcha.
But, it's, hold on, let me put everybody. And for those of you that know our fellow Stone Super, John Wesick, he is featured tonight, and it starts about 8:30, which is in 5 minutes. It started at 7:30, so the open is probably open. And I guess it's a thing called Speak Up. And there's the password, there's the number and the password. It looks like he added a colon, which I don't think is part of it.
Right.
I think it's 730 858 074 1886. Password, speak up, one word with a capital S if that matters. So for those of you that want to keep going and support John, that'd be nice if we bopped over.
We'll do our best to. And thank you again, CC, for your hard work and helping bring everyone together by setting this up. And thanks to all of you for keeping Stone Soup going. We got one in for National Poetry Month. You know, 1 for 4 ain't bad. I'll say, why not? 1 out of 4 ain't bad, but we'll be back next week, God willing, and we'll figure out what's happening next in the next couple of months, live shows and otherwise. Thank you guys all very much. We can't forget the wave. We got to do the wave. The wave.
Good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise.
Exactly.
We'll see you by and by.
Exactly. Thank you, CC, and thanks to everyone else. And go support John Wesick. Go support any poets. Go support yourselves if you have to, because God knows not too many people are supporting us. But well, hopefully more opportunities will be coming up for submissions, publishing, show opportunities. I know Tony wanted to do something for Cambridge, her own little farewell mashup, but we'll talk more about that another time. Thank you all very much, and dead to you for sticking with us. And thank you so much for heading to Carol Weston's feature, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good night.